Hi, my name is Carlton Gerald, and I am the mayor of the city of Paris, and I also serve as the chairman of the Paris-Henry County Industrial Committee. I want to talk just a few minutes about communication. You know, communication is one of those things that obviously we all do because we like to communicate and need to communicate with people. But in the workforce, it is critical that we communicate properly. I think about communication in a term, and you may or may not know this, but General Neyland, who was the longtime historic coach of the Volunteers, made a statement one time that there are three things can happen with a pass from a quarterback to the receiver, and two of them aren't good. And I relate that to the communication because with communication, you have three parts. You have the sender, you have the message, and then you have the receiver. And you may know as the sender what it is you're trying to convey, that you have a message that you want to talk about, that you want that person that you're speaking to get, and particularly employers or employees. Then you have the message itself. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it off course? Is it confused? Is it jumbled? And then you have the receiver, which in this term in a football team would be the person who catches the ball or catches the message. Did they catch it? Sometimes they just drop it when it's right in their hands. Sometimes it's overthrown. Sometimes it's short thrown. Sometimes somebody hits them at the last minute. All those things affect communication. And the reason I want to talk to you about this, why it's so important when we're dealing particularly in what we do to make our livelihood, which is our jobs, our workforce, whether we're the boss, the employee, the supervisor, the go-between, we need to make sure that we do as much as we can on the part that we can control, which if we are the message sender, we need to make sure the message is concise, clear, and has the best opportunity to be received. The message itself, if we're sending the message, just much like the quarterback throwing the ball, we need to make sure it's on target. We need to make sure it's done as we practiced it. Many times we don't know how to communicate because we haven't taken the time and the resources and the skills and the effort to make sure that it's done in a way that the person can have the best chance of success. And then those times where we can't control the receiver. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe some interference comes involved. Maybe things happen. You know, there's so many things that you can correlate to what communication is about. So what I want to encourage you to do is when you're talking, when you're wanting to give that message, think about how to do it in the best way possible. Make sure it has the best path to be successful. And then do all you can to make sure that the person receives it. That message itself, it needs to be on time. It needs to be to the point. It needs to have, in the best conditions. Many times we need to talk to somebody when conditions are more favorable. It's hard to throw a ball in the wind. But when it's calm, obviously it's easier to hit our target. Maybe we need to wait just a little bit before we tell people what we need. And then over the receiver, we need to understand, we need to do all we can to understand what that person is wanting to communicate to us. Looks like a receiver, I didn't know the route to run. I didn't understand what I was looking for. I didn't understand you were going to throw it to me. So we need to do what we can on both sides of the message to make sure that the communication is as effective as it can be. You're communicating not only to your employer, to your employees, to your teachers, to your parents, to your siblings, and to your friends. Does the message speak in a way that they can understand it, they can clarify it, and then they can know exactly what you're trying to communicate? Communication is one of the great keys to being successful in life. Listen for it.
Hi, my name is Kelly Buffington. I'm the Human Resources Manager at Four Seasons Sales and Service in Paris, Tennessee. We're going to talk about communication, its importance, and really when it begins. The written communication, so you're going to learn in school about typing up a resume and make sure that you go over that and make sure that there's not any errors. It's good if you maybe have a couple people go over it. That's our first opportunity to meet you in the written form of communication, and so that's always important. I also want you to know your skills. Don't sell yourself short. So if a lot of you have worked your first jobs maybe in fast food or in retail business, those skills are important. So you've learned customer service, whether you realize it or not, because you're working with the public. You've learned how to multitask. You are showing that you're a good team player, because that doesn't work without good teamwork. Also, you may have been a crew trainer or something like that, and so that's a really valuable skill. It also shows that you're flexible because you have to work a lot of odd shifts, I'm sure. And so just make sure that you put all of those things down, and make sure that when you get ready to leave that job for whatever reason, that you give a little bit of a notice, a week or two notice, so that when we call, we can get a good reference about what a great employee that you were. Next, when I call you for an interview, I know you've applied for a lot of different jobs possibly, and so when I call you for an interview, I just want to hear a little bit of excitement in your voice. I know that I have applied for many jobs, and I'm so excited when I finally get anyone to call me for an interview. That's your first opportunity to communicate that you're excited about the possibility of working for that company. Show up for the interview at least 15 minutes early. That communicates to us that you're respectful about the fact that we are taking our time to interview you, and that you're excited about being there as well. So make sure that you show up on time. A lot of people get nervous about what should I wear. Don't worry about that so much. Just wear a nice shirt and a pair of pants. Make sure that they're clean and not wrinkled. Otherwise, we're not concerned about that. A lot of times people come from maybe work, and that's okay. As a person that conducts a lot of interviews, I know that you're nervous. I personally am going to try to put you at ease when we start talking. This is just a brief opportunity that I get to spend with you to see if I think that you're going to be a good fit for this job. So I want to see a little bit of your personality. A sense of humor is important. I've gotten away from asking, very strict interview questions and making it more about just a chat session between the two of us, or if we have a panel of folks together that we want to talk to you. So try to breathe. It's okay, and show your personality. That's really what we want to see. Also, do just a little bit of homework about the job that you're applying for, the company that you're going to be working for. If I ask you, what do you know about Four Seasons Sales and Service? A quick Google search will give you information that you need about that. And so that just shows that you've done a little bit of homework about it, and that goes a long way as well. Again, show enthusiasm, sense of humor. Tell us what you've done. Tell us why you think that you would be a good fit here in this job. And then, just regardless of where you go to work, communication skills. It's like we couldn't run this company if we didn't communicate with each other. It doesn't matter what job you're performing. We all have to communicate in order to make a successful company work on a day-to-day basis. And so the communication starts really from the very beginning, before you even realize it, with your written communication, and then it goes all the way through to whenever you show up. It's like just showing up for the job isn't enough. You also have to show that you are a good team player, and that you have a good attitude about working and about the other people that you're working with, and you'll do great.